Today I want to talk about composting and how to do it in your own backyard and get an arm workout along the way. Hey there, my name is Nicole Burke and I'm the founder of Gardenary. Gardening is ordinary, that's our goal at Gardenary. And compost is a big part of that. So subscribe to the channel, okay? When you do, send us an email at hello@gardenary.com because we have a free gift to give you to keep you growing in your garden too. Today, I'm going to introduce you to my favorite new friend in the garden. This is Jenny the Jora. Jenny is my new composter. I got her for myself for my birthday. Joras are a little bit of an investment, or a lot of an investment when it comes to composting, especially because I got one of the bigger ones. Now, before I open her up, let me tell you a little bit about my journey with composting. So when I first started gardening in Nashville, we got this free composter tower from our city. And it was just a little tower. I think it was called an earth tower or something. It was made of plastic. And we started putting a ton of food scraps in that thing. Now, we rarely turned it. We just kind of sat it. It was underneath our deck in Nashville. Put loads and loads and loads of food scraps in there and rarely anything else. Well, it came time for us to move. We were renting and we ended up pulling up the earth tower or whatever it was called. And there was still a lot of food that had not composted from it. So we kind of buried the scraps embarrassingly and moved on. We never really got a harvest of compost from that that tower. When we moved to Houston, I heard that there were cockroaches and rats and things like that that would get into your compost if you left it open. So I bought a rain barrel composter that could flip, just one, and put it in my yard. Well, again, I started adding food scraps to it, and I would add gardening scraps to it. And this time I could turn it. So I was sure that it was going to create compost for me. But there was one problem. I only had one composter. And so whenever I just got into the habit of putting my food waste into that composter, and so I never stopped putting food waste into that composter. So it just kept getting fuller and fuller, more heavy and more heavy, but never actually finishing because I never let it just rest. So we ended up dumping that one out. And in fact, I think actually it ended up breaking. And that was a pretty expensive composter. So here, what I've been doing is I just literally made some piles in my yard over the last few years where I just pile up my kitchen garden scraps and a little bit of my kitchen scraps. But I haven't been composting nearly like I want to. Thus, the Jora. So this is a composter that we've gotten for several of our rooted garden clients. I know it's tried and tested. It's a fantastic quality composter, and I'm going to tell you why. And this isn't sponsored or anything. I'm just kind of telling you why I switched to this one. So one of the benefits of this one is it's a dual chamber. So the trouble I had with my second composter where I'd fill up the composter and then just kept adding to it, never letting one finish, the dual side helps. So I'll show you what's in here, but the great part is that in this side, it's completely empty. Ta-da! See how nice and clean that is? So the Jora is all about insulation to heat up your compost so that it turns as fast as possible. The previous composter I had did not have insulation like this, so things took a lot longer to change. But this one's insulated and it gets hot. So it's got a dual chamber, so I know as soon as I'm done with this side, which I do need to be done, by the way, I've put off moving to this side because I wanted to show you guys the empty chamber. So it locks in place just like this, and you can adjust the lock as you go if it needs to be tighter or looser. So it's got insulation, it's got dual chambers, and then it's also got this awesome thing. So you can turn it, and you should turn it often. The more often you turn your compost, the hotter it's going to get and the faster it's going to change into compost you can use in your garden. This thing is getting super heavy though. We literally use this as like a obstacle challenge for our children to see how many times they can turn this thing on their own to show their arm strength. All right, so now we're going to open this up. Now I'm going to warn you, and you can probably already see from the drips here. I have let this get a little too wet. So the trick with compost is not just the turning, which is putting air in there, and it's not just the warmth with the insulation and not just letting it rest, but it's also doing a mix of browns and greens. Now I have no problem getting the greens, right? Greens are any kind of kitchen scraps. So banana peels and, you know, coffee grinds and eggshells and, you know, pieces of like little vegetable debris and things like that. I have tons of that, but what I've run out of is brown leaves. So through the fall, I saved a big tower of leaves that we raked up from the yard. And I had them all, and I thought I had enough leaves to supply me for the whole season. But after about a month or two of every time I would add green scraps into here, also adding brown scraps, I ran out of leaves. And this is one of the great losses, I think, of our mow and blow and go culture with our yards, is we're losing one of the best things that we can have in our garden, which is leaves. As the leaves break down, they add that brown carbon to your compost. All right, see if you can see this. Are you ready? It might smoke a little bit. Here we go. I don't know if you can see the smoke. All right, but you can see how this is a little too wet. So it is forming compost for sure, but this is wetter than you want it to be. And the main problem here is that I haven't been putting in brown leaves. You can see the eggshells in here. You can see the coffee grinds. You can see how things are breaking down. I'm gonna hold a piece for you. They're starting to break down. You can see an onion. There's an onion skin. Maybe some citrus. All kinds of stuff in here breaking down, but it's just a little bit wet. So as soon as you start to see drips on your compost, or when you open it up, if you see it look a little bit too much like coffee grinds, you know you need some more brown. So that's where I am right now with my compost. I'm pretty much ready to close this one up and let it finish for the season. I just need to add in probably, I don't know, 10 gallons or so of dried leaves. I need a lot of dried leaves to match all of this green that I've added here. But pretty magical, right? So this composter seals up nice and tidy. And in the spring, when it was cold outside, it might be 30, 40 degrees, I would open this thing up and it would literally smoke. It was so cool to see that my food, things I had eaten and enjoyed in my own kitchen, were being turned right outside my back door into compost that will help grow the stuff that I'm gonna eat in my kitchen next season. It really shows you how the garden is a full circle thing and can provide for you in so many ways. There really is no waste in the kitchen garden. So let me know what you think about my Jora composter. If you've got any great tips or tricks for composting, let me know in the comments. And I'm gonna go now hunt for some brown leaves to see if I can turn this gooey mess into some compost. Here's the composting. See you next time.